The Southern Police District has a new man in charge who's just moved from Washington for the role. Superintendent Mike Pannett is settling into work at the Dunedin Central Police Station, and he joins us to talk about the challenges ahead. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome back to Dunedin.
Thank you.
What are the main priorities for policing in this district?
I think that our main priorities are around making the city and the district as safe as possible. In fact, I would like to be bold and say the safest place to live and visit in New Zealand, but also to make sure that the people feel safe and are safe in the district.
How are you hoping to make a difference?
I think that there is a lot of different measures that we can do, but I think the big part is community engagement. It's by having the right staff in the right place at the right time, with good community connections, having the right equipment and the right training for those staff, and to make sure that they understand the needs of their local community.
What are the challenges in improving crime statistics locally?
I think a challenge going forward with crime statistics is actually to ensure that they accurately reflect what's occurring in the community. A big part of any crime statistic is the volume of crime that is actually reported and making sure it reflects what's occurring. Reporting of crime in a domestic or dwelling, particularly violence, is a very difficult crime to encourage and to accurately get reporting on. So we certainly encourage that kind of reporting, but also the people, the connection, making sure that we have those community interface, so if there is a crime, if there's a problem, we hear about it early and our staff can do something about it early.
What areas are local police doing well in already?
I think we are doing very well in Southern in respect of trust and confidence to the community. I think that the statistics and certainly the feedback I'm getting so far is that there are some very experienced and very knowledgeable police staff here who have good community interface, so that's an area I want to encourage.
Now, what attracted you to this role here in Dunedin?
My background has been through provincial policing, small stations, small districts, and apart from time in Wellington and Washington DC, my bulk of my service, my enjoyment, my policing career has been very much focused on that rural provincial areas of New Zealand.
Tell us about your job in Washington.
So Washington was a big transition from New Zealand. I was based out of the New Zealand Embassy in Washington DC, and geographically covering Canada, the USA, Central and South America and the North Pacific. So it was an interesting job. I never had 2 days the same. The workload was very much around consular, assisting our Ministry of Foreign Trade and Affairs partners with New Zealand's in difficulty. Transnational organised crime was a big part of it. Also national security and terrorism. But on a day-to-day basis, there was a lot of relationship building with countries, building trust and confidence in New Zealand, but also assessing how those countries could help New Zealand and New Zealanders going forward.
Was it a bit of an eye-opener? Yes,
it was an eye-opener, and like with many countries, there is stuff that is done outside New Zealand, and particularly in the United States, is done very well, but there's also things that we can learn from and make sure we take those learnings back into New Zealand.
And this role back here in Dunedin, is that a job that you can see yourself staying in for a while?
It's a job I'm very glad to be in, and I will certainly be here for as long as possible.
Superintendent Mike Pannett, thanks very much for coming back to Dunedin and for popping in to see us.
Thank you.
See you again next time.